This episode of Stick Like Glue Radio is brought to you by Jim Palmer's Create Your Dream Business Now Academy, a one-of-a-kind live event where Jim will personally teach you how to market and grow a more profitable business faster, even in a crappy economy. During this event, Jim will reveal how to create a $1 million platform on a shoestring budget. You'll learn how to generate a ton of content with ease, how to attract a steady stream of new customers, and you'll also network with other successful marketers and entrepreneurs. This not-to-be-missed event is September 4th through the 6th in Philadelphia and will quite literally transform your business. Do not miss it. Get all the details and register today at www.dreambizacademy.com. That's www.dreambizacademy.com.
Hey friends, this is James Malinchak, feature on ABC's hit TV show Secret Millionaire and founder of BigMoneySpeaker.com, and you are listening to my good friend Jim Palmer on Stick Like Glue Radio.
Welcome to Stick Like Glue Radio, the only podcast dedicated to helping you create an everlasting bond with your customers so they stay longer, spend more, and refer more. Marketing and business building expert Jim Palmer, known internationally as the Newsletter Guru, is a serial entrepreneur, author, speaker, and coach to other entrepreneurs. Jim is the host of Newsletter Guru TV, a weekly web TV show featuring Jim's unique brand of smart marketing and business building advice. Check it out today at www.newsletterguru.tv. Please welcome your host of Stick Like Glue Radio, Jim Palmer.
Well, hello there, everybody. Welcome to Stick Like Glue Radio. This is the only podcast dedicated to helping you create an everlasting bond with your customers so they stay longer, spend more, and refer more, and those are all great things in your business. I am your host, Jim Palmer, your dream business coach, and I'm committed to helping you build a more profitable business faster. I am very excited about this week's show because my special guest is Jay Massey, the author of the hit book Cash Flow Diary, 10 Steps to Creating Wealth in Any Economy. Let me tell you a little bit about Jay. He is a husband, a father, entrepreneur, full-time real estate investor, developer, and as I mentioned, he's the author of Cash Flow Diary, 10 Steps to Creating Wealth in Any Economy. Jay is a highly sought-after mentor who enjoys one-on-one coaching, and he earned a reputation in the world of real estate investing as someone very skillful in identifying and solving problems. He has experience completing hundreds of real estate transactions in 8 states. He's also a landlord with more than 300 units in his portfolio. Wow. He's the host of the board game Cash Flow One-on-One and is a master facilitator. I got to tell you, just being around him is going to improve your financial IQ. And why do I say that? Because as you're going to find out, he's going to ask scenario-based questions that bring out your own critical thinking and creativity, and I'm really excited to welcome him to the show. Jay, thank you so much for being my special guest on Stick Like Glue Radio.
Awesome. Thank you for having me. Glad to be here.
You know, so here we are in the real estate investment area, which is where your specialty is. And, you know, sometimes people ask me when I'm doing interviews on the other side of the desk, so to speak. And, you know, I'm known for somebody who brings on a lot of different guests. And while I would venture to say very few people in kind of my community, if you will, are real estate investors, I like to bring on and interview entrepreneurs from all different areas because we can learn so much from each other. And so, you know, while you're in real estate, you obviously have an entrepreneurial mind. I know you do videos. I know you do podcasting and all different things. So I'm looking forward to sharing some of your knowledge with my listeners. Now, I understand that when you entered real estate investing, it's not something that you had planned on doing. So tell us a little bit about that journey.
Yeah, it was definitely not something I had planned on doing. It did not. I didn't wake up one morning and say, "Hey, I can't wait to deal with tenants, toilets, termites, and taxes." No, that did not happen. A few short years ago, you know, my wife and I were in a situation in which she has a condition when she's pregnant known as hyperemesis. It means that she can't eat or drink, and I was trying to blow off steam one day. So what happened is that I went to go and play volleyball. And while playing volleyball, I landed on a guy's head and punctured my lung and developed a condition known as pleurisy. So I couldn't walk and talk simultaneously. And that led to us literally selling our personal possessions on eBay, trying to find ways to scrounge up money to eat. And it wasn't exactly, good on the horizon. We ended up squatting in bank-owned property. Some people would call that homeless. And with a credit score of 398 is how we started our real estate investing career, because someone came to us and said, hey, you should become a real estate investor. And I promise you that was not what I was thinking at that moment. And, over time, we've had, the good fortune, if you will, of running into the right individuals, being able to build solid, strong teams that assist us in being able to help many individuals. And that's, at the end of the day, do we do real estate? Sure. But first and foremost, we're entrepreneurs, and all of us solve problems. That's what we do. We just happen to use real estate to solve that problem of housing and providing jobs. So that's pretty much what we do in various ways. All of us provide jobs and solve a second problem in some way, shape, or form. We just happen to use real estate to do it.
That's really is the basis for successful businesses, is solving problems and curing people's pains and things like that. And it's really amazing how throughout life's journeys, certain things will bring us to the entrepreneurial world. I know a lot of people end up losing a job, which kind of forces them into the entrepreneurial world, and that was certainly the case with myself. And I think there's actually a great book called Get Fired and Get Fired Up, something like that. Anyway, how is your wife doing?
Yeah, I always forget to say that, but she's fine now. It's the oddest thing, once the baby comes out, she's completely fine. It's like until that moment, it's literally life or death for the entire time, and you're on pins and needles. It's a very stressful situation, to say the least.
So that is when you said you had to blow off steam. Is that because just being in that stressful situation for months and months and months? Is that what you were referring to?
Yeah, well, yeah. It was, previously I was a self-employed financial planner, which meant, so long as I went to work, I ate. If I didn't go to work, I didn't eat. And it was just stressful, and because I was having to make the choice every day. Do I go to work or do I go to my wife? Which do you do? And I'm not saying that, because there could be people in that situation right now, hopefully not, and they're making the decision to go to work, and I understand it, or they're making the decision to go by their family, and I understand both of them. I'm just saying, let's put our businesses and ourselves in a position to where we never have to make that decision. That's really what it comes down to, and I was never taught that, growing up kindergarten through 12th grade. They kind of skipped that class.
Yeah. My fourth book was called It's Okay to Be Scared But Never Give Up, and we wrote that. We interviewed like 9 different entrepreneurs about some of the life challenges that they face, and we wanted it to be kind of a book of hope and inspiration. You certainly have a story which I think provides hope and inspiration. How did you stay positive and get through all that? I mean, that must have been incredibly stressful, and then, to come out the other side with your big trademark smile. How did you kind of hold that all together?
Well, I have a great support system around me. My family, my friends, the church. As we continue to move forward, that's probably the thing I see entrepreneurs are missing the most, is the support system that has the ability to help them when things don't go well. I mean, we all have that experience when customers or revenue or things change. And at the end of the day, the question is are you sold out on the mission? And we have just a strong mission to provide clean, safe, affordable housing to people that need it when it matters most. We have a strong mission to make sure that what we do is makes a difference to all of our investors and all of the people that we have the opportunity and the privilege of serving. And that takes an incredible amount of focus and, fortunately, dedication by the entire family. Involve your family. That's something I would strongly recommend. And we've also been able to put ourselves in a situation in which, we've got friends and as well as, I would say, people that are rooting for us. And I think for most of us is that once we begin to make that shift and realize that our friends are actually wanting us to be successful, it will greatly help. But, praying a lot, crying a lot, all those things, like you said in the title of your book, it's okay to be scared, but don't give up. And if there's any one thing that we've learned to do, it's this. We've learned to fail forward, fail fast, and fail frequently all the time.
Because that means you're in action. So I completely agree with that. when you mention a support network, your church, your family, friends, did you also did you ever start working with a coach or getting a mastermind group with other entrepreneurs, or was it mostly on the personal side?
But fortunately, the individual who said, hey, you should become a real estate person, stuck around to be a mentor and guide me through some of the basics of building business from the beginning. And his information has helped me tremendously over and over and over again, but he also, probably the best thing he taught me is, A, how to learn so that I can learn anything. But secondly, what I learned is being able to go out there and just understand that there's a process to learning to being patient with myself, but most importantly, learning to consistently consume new information, because we're going to be the same today as we were yesterday, right? Except for the people we meet and the books we read.
Yeah. So I started my first business in 2001, and in 2004, I had grown to multiple six figures, but I realized at that point, I now describe the question that rocked my world. My wife asked me, we haven't been on vacation in 5 years since before you started your business, and I really want to go away. And I realized at that point, Jay, that I didn't build a company, I built a job, as something that I was really tied to. And so I really resonate with what you just said. I spent the next year reading. I probably read 25, 30 books, learned all about internet marketing, direct response marketing, leverage, all these different, multiple streams of income strategies, and it really turned my life around. So, being a lifelong student is pretty important. Was there a particular aha moment or a defining moment when you kind of said to yourself, yes, I can do this, and, I want to make this whole real estate thing work?
Well, I guess it came when, and interestingly how these things come at what could appear to be dark times. There was two instances come to my mind. One is where I had spent the night in the hospital because I was having trouble breathing with my asthma, et cetera, and I got out that morning, and I hadn't slept all night, but it was time for me to do a training for the team, and it was one of the first times, because it was clear, when you have a W-2 job or you're an employee, that situation is the reason you call in to work and say, you know what, I'm not coming in. I've been in the hospital all night, and I haven't slept and all this other stuff. But that was one of the first times I tapped into the fact that what was motivating me was beyond just the quote-unquote paycheck. I was actually motivated to still do my part for the team no matter what, even though I was tired. And I was like, wow, if I can do that, then maybe, I can actually make this stuff happen. And then secondly, what happened is that we had an individual who became a part of the company, or was one of our vendors, and ended up in a situation where we were no longer doing business with them, and it was very devastating to the company. However, the team stuck together. And the team stuck together, and it told me, I was like, wow, we're building something special here. There's something special. I don't quite know what it is, but the team stayed together. The team rallied around the cause, the mission, and what we were going out there to do to make a difference no matter what. And that, I was like, wow. And it's been a transformational process to learn that I can actually lead people through a mission and make this thing happen. And, okay, so if we're going to do that, let's do it on a big way and change lots of lives. And that's what we're endeavoring to do with the book and everything else that we have going on, so that people have a shot at realizing their story isn't over.
Yeah. What's so important about what you just said, and it's kind of what I teach when I'm coaching entrepreneurs, is the people who really make it, they feel this utter conviction, in their heart, in their gut, their soul, their mind, whatever, but they feel like, I really have something that's going to help. I know I can help people, and, I'm going to kind of lead them down this positive path. And if you contrast that, Jay, with other folks who may just, hey, this is good, you ought to give it a try, I think it might work for you. There's really two different ways of approaching business, and I can really hear how you're convicted about what you have to teach and how you can help other people. Yeah,
and that's the thing. It wasn't something I was necessarily seeking. What it more sought me in the same way. A gentleman came to me and just said, hey, can you teach me everything you know? And I was like, I could, but that's going to take up a lot of time and cost a whole lot of money. And what surprised me, because up until that point, I was just helping people one or two here or there because it wasn't that big of a deal. But through that process of working with him, I mean, because that what shocked me, he was like, okay, how much? And I told him, and he was like, okay, no problem. I was like, wow, hold on, wait a minute. And then him being able to go through and be able to buy like his first apartment building, and since then we've helped a number of people be able to buy some of their first single-family houses, and we've been able to help a lot of people that, and it began to prove to me that my experience and what we've been through is valuable for others, and more importantly, we can help other people get a result that they may not be able to achieve on their own. And it started to feel like it would be selfish or wrong of me not to have all of this, experience and pain and not share it with someone and hopefully help them in some way. And it could be people I've never met, but that wasn't the point. The point is that there was an experience and there was a thought process that had been developed of your story's not over. You've been playing by the wrong rules or incorrect rules, or and you can learn new rules, new games, new ways to move forward. Here are some of the steps that you need to take and take them and begin to experience different results.
In your book, Cash Flow Diary, 10 Steps to Creating Wealth in Any Economy, you don't just share a lot of the story you've been already sharing here in the show. You actually share with readers the steps that you took to get where you are today as an investor and creating cash flow with real estate and with none of your own cash or credit, which I think is amazing. We've all heard about the no money down kind of thing. How does that all work? And we have about 7 minutes left, so give us everything you know in a nutshell.
Well, yeah, I know, I hear you. And that let me be very clear. That's exactly who the book is for. The book is for that person who feels tapped on their resources, doesn't understand how they're going to generate the leads, where the money's going to come from. How on earth does this make sense? I can't figure it out because I was given the gift of having no other choice. This is how I had no choice. This was the only way I was going to figure it out. And that's kind of what I was thinking, is that for most investors, and most people, at some point, you're going to run out of your own resources. And we have to learn a very fundamental tenet and concept, and that's wealth is a team sport. It takes all of us, for some of us, to get forward. And that's just the way it's going to be. We've all got to work together towards that common goal. And that's what the principles are that are applied throughout the book. By the way, the story and what you and I have talked about barely covers the first chapter. The rest of the book is dedicated towards all the techniques and being able to help individuals learn how to raise the capital, find the deals, and structure the deals with your attorneys and securities attorneys if need be, so that you have the ability to go out there, how to find the leads, how to do all of these things. And here's probably one of the best ways to get started right here. And this is the thing that I tell people the most when I'm either on stage teaching or working with them or what have you. The most important thing is many people start looking for properties, and this is the issue. They're looking for properties, and what they should be looking for are problems. And and the same thing applies when it comes to raising capital. Instead of looking for money, you're still looking for problems. And when you learn to find and understand the problem that the person with property or money has, then it becomes a conversation simply about how your product, your service, can solve their problem using their money or using their property. And when you begin to put those two things together, that's the essence of getting real estate done using other people's resources. And that's really it. And what was amazing to me, what's been amazing to me is learning how many people have heard things like, yeah, you could do, deals with no money, no credit, but how few of them have met somebody who does that. And I'm just like, well, I didn't know any other way. It was not like I was setting out to be that guy. That's just how it came about.
You do a lot to help people, create cash flow in their lives. And in addition to your book, you have a podcast, their website. You've created a lot of a library of free videos, basically, and other educational opportunities. If people want to, purchase their book, which I highly recommend, even if you're not into real estate, buy his book because it's really eye-opening about. Cash flow is the lifeblood of any business, and it's what's really going to change your life, both business and personally. Give people an idea of how they can learn more about you and experience, some of your training and things like that.
Well, the easiest way to get a copy of the book is to go over to cashflowdiary.com/book. /book, B-O-O-K. You'll be able to get there. You get a sample chapter. For those of you that like to try before you buy, you can totally do that. The book's available in many different formats, of course, because everybody likes to consume things their own way. We do our best to make that happen. 2 other channels that you may want to consider is the podcast that you mentioned is cashflowdiarypodcast.com. So type that in. You have the ability to go there. And then we produce a weekly, actually, I should say it's most weeks. What we do is I answer questions live. So I take your question live at absolutely no cost. We broadcast for about an hour at cashflowdiary.tv, where you can ask me any question, any deal that you're working on. I mean, I've done transactions. I've done single-family, multifamily, commercial deals. I've got a cell phone tower now, building a resort internationally. I've done a lot of different types of real estate, and I've been able to help a number of different people get started in this game. So, feel free to send in your questions over at cashflowdiary.tv, and, hopefully I'll be able to answer them during one of the episodes, and you can tune in and watch there.
I appreciate that. So not only you're a pretty smart guy in real estate, but you're obviously a pretty savvy marketer. I've checked out your websites. I like your podcasts and your videos and the frequency in which you do them and connect with people. And I think one of the big lessons there, Jay, as you probably know and have experienced, is that's a great way to attract not only potential clients, coaching clients, but also deals, because you're putting yourself out there as a giver and a server, and that's the first way to start receiving.
Yeah, I'm learning that. That's for sure. I appreciate the compliment. I would say that you are way more accomplished than I at this moment in this marketing game. I've been so busy being the technician, as Michael Gerber would say, that I'm learning to be a marketer of what we do, not just a doer of what we do.
And that is so important. But that, in our remaining couple minutes here, that's really a mindset shift, I think, that most entrepreneurs, no matter what field you're in, that's the mindset shift that has to occur, because a lot of people, I came from the corporate background originally. It's like, well, you want to give a little bit, you want to give a taste, but then if they want the good stuff, they got to pay for that. Otherwise, they'll never come if we keep giving the good stuff, But in reality, when you keep giving good stuff, people are attracted to you and they still want more. You could tell people exactly what to do and they still won't do it. They want you to do it for them. I mean, it's a really, really smart way to market is to be seen as somebody who's generous. So
thank you.
I commend you on what you're doing.
Thank you a lot. I tell people all the time, and he or she, if you want to educate your market, your niche, if you want to dominate your market or niche, all you got to do is educate. He or she who educates the market dominates the market, and that's just been the path that we've chosen to do. The best way that I can help you is to give you the 2 or 3 things that you might need an adjustment on to be able to take that next step and bring, put your name on title on one more piece of property, or be able to raise that capital. I've worked with clients that do, cell phone apps and other types of businesses, movies, music CDs. It doesn't matter, because the tenets and principles are so the same. It's just so very transferable. So it's been quite a journey, and that's, again, part of the reason the book was written the way it was written, is to appeal not just to those who like real estate, but those who are business individuals and want the skill sets necessary to be able to put the teams together and make these things work, because we've all been there staring ourselves in the mirror or in the dark wondering, how on earth am I going to make this happen? And hopefully there'll be some ideas, some tips in the book that'll help many people move forward.
Well, very good. I wish you a lot of success with that. Again, check out Jay and his book. Go to cashflowdiary.com. Jay, thank you so much for being my special guest this week. I greatly appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, folks, that wraps up this very special episode of Stick Like Glue Radio with Jay Massey. Stick Like Glue Radio is the only podcast dedicated to helping you create an everlasting bond with your customers so they stay longer, spend more, and refer more. I am your host, Jim Palmer, your dream business coach, and I'm committed to helping you build a more profitable business faster. Watch for another episode of Stick Like Glue Radio next week. Until then, keep taking action, keep moving forward, and don't ever, ever, ever give up. Hey, go out there and do something nice for somebody today. Take care, everybody.
You've been listening to Stick Like Glue Radio, the only podcast dedicated to helping you create an everlasting bond with your customers so they stay longer, spend more, and refer more. Stick Like Glue Radio features Jim Palmer's unique brand of smart marketing and business building advice for action-oriented entrepreneurs. To make sure you don't miss a single profit-boosting show, subscribe to this podcast at www.getjimpalmer.com. If you know other entrepreneurs looking for the fastest way to higher profits in their business, please tell them about the Stick Like Glue Radio podcast. Now go and implement what you've learned and boost your profits. See you next week for more Stick Like Glue Radio.